You nothing! You nothing! You are nothing! And you will never be anything. Never!
Colin.
Anybody know who you are? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent! You obviously don't have the talent!
And Mike, the Ape Man.
You are everything that's gone wrong in this world! You are self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit!
PTR Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. Ah, that felt better. That felt better. That's what it should be. All right. Oh, boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to be looking for some advice from each other. And if you want advice on what you should do, if you've got a decision you've got to make, something weighing on your mind, we want to hear from you. You know, feel free to send it in on our feeds. Mike will be taking a look at that here in just 1 second as soon as I bring it up for him, because I know he was going to get to me here in just a second and say, hey, wait a second, I can't find nothing. What's the deal? And so now he should be able to see what there is to see and to glean from it,
there it is,
the important parts of your conversation.
Yeah. Something like that.
And then we got to get the YouTubes on. All right. So, yeah. So now Mike can see what all you've got to see on the Facebooks and the YouTubes and the Twitches and all that fun stuff and the Twitters. Let's see here.
What up, cuz?
Let's see here. Can we also get... And if we're lucky, we'll even get the phone line working tonight. What the heck?
Oh, dear God. You were really just...
Yeah, I'm just a glutton for punishment tonight. But
it sounds like it.
It says it's working. Hey, that's the best way to get advice. That's the way people get advice nowadays, Mike. They call you on the telephone, on the squawk box. You know? We're like the Dear Abby, but digital.
Right. Okay.
Man. All right, so... before we get to some advice, I want to talk about a shopping trip that I took this week. All right. Now, there's this weird new-ish store in town that I had never been to before. And I was out on that end of town, and I thought, you know what? Well, I didn't actually think about this. I was with my oldest grandson, and we were hitting the Lowe's up for some stuff. And we were just down the road, and he's like, hey, I want to go to the deal store. Now at the deal store, I haven't been there, but I've thought about it. He's like, yeah, let's go. Okay, I'm in for it. Now what the deal store is, that's not its actual name. I don't know what its name is, other than like the 865432 store. All right, it's this is their business model. Okay, their business model is we're gonna buy a bunch of pallets from Amazon Returns. Then we're going to dump them out on the tables, and we're going to sell stuff at depreciating prices over 5 days.
There's a store like that right around the corner from us.
And so Fridays, it's $8. It's $8 an item, whatever that item is. So we were there on Saturday when everything is $6.
Oh, see, they don't have 8 by us. They go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then $1.
Yeah,
whatever's left. And people are lining up around the damn corner to get into this store on.
Well,
like, what?
There's some interesting. Like I said, we were there day number 2, and my understanding is day number 1 is that way. It is ridiculous. And I'll tell you, I found some good stuff on day number 2. I was really surprised. Right, so I've got a younger grandson who's really into puzzles. Okay, so I bought a 1,000-piece sealed puzzle for $6. That's not a bad price. All right, puzzles are expensive, and it was a fun little puzzle for him. I bought. Now this is the thing, right? So you don't know whether something's working or not when you buy the stuff. However, the next item I found already came with batteries in it, so I was able to test it in the store. I bought a Simon. You remember the Simons? with the colored
Yeah.
thingies. I bought a Simon, like a full-size Simon for $6, because I hate his parents more than anything else. No, it's. I thought he. I think he thought. I believe he'll find joy in it. All right. Then I bought a cup. I bought something for me. I bought this because I'm always into weird games, and this looked odd, mostly because it doesn't make grammatical sense. Game against Avenger. All right. Now that sounds like someone has a speech impediment, or they don't understand plurality. All right, but this is Game Against Avenger, which was it's a knockoff game of like Cards Against Humanity, but aimed at the Avengers franchise. But obviously they can't put the S on there because then they might get sued. So, you know, you get your different colored cards, you know, your people cards, your problem cards. This isn't about fighting wars, it's about Drax's severe retardation, for example, you know. So, but since always looking for new games, what the heck? And then I bought something else, but I can't remember what it was. But it was like, you know, weird stuff. I did see somebody walk out of there with a wireless gaming headset that I thought was pretty cool. And if you needed a charger, they had tons of those. Or a cell phone case, or an iPad case, or whatever. They had those. Or if you needed one shoe, all right, they had lots of those. I don't know why, but they had like single shoes scattered all throughout the place. But, you know, it was an interesting experience just to have all this junk laid out on tables, and you're just digging through it. And the other people there are taking this super seriously. Like, they are working their way through the table, up, down, left, right, you know? And they are just it's like they're trash sorters, almost. I mean, they are just digging for gold.
The people around here that are buying all of this stuff, like on day one, they're either just there because they're looking for a good buy, but most of the people that are there are turning around and reselling this stuff on...
Oh, yeah.
Facebook Marketplace or eBay or what have you.
Yeah.
You know, and they're making a profit off of it, but that's it. This is just a dead. This is a dad joke happening here. Yeah, the shoes are for Eileen.
Yep.
Why? Because she only has one leg.
So, I mean, it was just, like I said, it was a weird experience going through there.
Well, that's kind of like going through one of these like job lot places. Like you just never know exactly what you're going to find.
Well, yeah.
We went to, and this is not a weird experience, but similar to you never know what you're going to find. Kim and I took a ride to a Restore.
Yes.
Which for those who don't know, it benefits Habitat for Humanity. So they have like donated furniture, cabinets, appliances, all kinds of home furnishings,
doors,
things of that nature. Doors, windows, paint, tile,
ceiling fans.
Yeah, basically anything you would need for a home. It's when they go in and they either get donated stuff or this is stuff that they rip out of properties, whatever.
Yep.
So we went walking through there and found, there were some interesting things that I never thought I would see. I saw couches that I swear were in my grandmother's house years ago.
Yep.
The floral rose pattern that's like embossed kind of on the couch. Paints and tiles. Like if you wanted to do a room with about 15 different styles of tile, all the same size, you could easily do it for a 10 by 10 room. You could probably do it for $40 with the price of the tile that's there because it's all loose quantity, case lot, whatever. But yeah, it was actually kind of cool. We didn't buy anything, but like China, because nobody keeps fine china anymore. Kim and I were talking about this. It used to be China.
Yeah.
Families would fight over who gets the china.
Well, people would register for crystal for their wedding registry.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Nobody registers for a gravy boat now. You know?
No.
Or a crystal decanter. Nobody does that.
No.
You know, so yeah, no. The question comes, or even silver. Fine silver. Who wants to polish that stuff? Nobody. So yeah, all that stuff gets donated, pawned, whatever, and you know, nobody has it anymore. I know my parents have this blue champagne set complete with decanter. It's like blue glass with gold leaf on it, doing designs. And growing up, I thought, wow, that's fancy. Now I think, oh boy, that's gaudy. I don't know who would ever want that or use that. But as a kid, I was just afraid of breaking it. Yep. You know, but I don't know what's going to happen when they're gone and I have to deal with that or a lot of stuff in their house. Like, my mom was home interiors crazy for a while. She has tons of stuff. You know? Who needs porcelain dolls or porcelain figures of bears and stuff? Not everybody's into that, or dogs.
Paintings. The paintings were lined up like it was a record store, like you could flip through on the floor.
Like Walmart does posters.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean,
yeah,
definitely, if you wanted to really spend the time and go through it all, and I hate to say this because it could be easily taken the wrong way, but you walk into this particular store, and I don't know if they're all like this, but you walk into this store and you're instantly taken back to your grandma's house because all grandma's houses have that distinct smell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And at least from my generation when you were growing up.
Well, when we were cleaning out
and the cookie jar is full of cookies that have been there since Eisenhower.
There's no snap. They bend. You know, that's how long they've been in there.
Oh, they don't do that either because they're now, you know, classified for use as a building material.
So, but
okay, in fairness, okay, when you're growing up and you know your grandfather's an alcoholic, the cookies never stayed around very long in our house. So the cookies were always pretty fresh.
We didn't have cookies.
Ice cream was a luxury because my grandfather ate when he was drinking. He would eat a gallon of ice cream every night when he got home from the bar.
Grandma didn't keep cookies
in the house. That was his post-drinking meal.
She had Royals. You know, the little the caramel Royals. I still love those things. I shouldn't, but I do. But anyway, no. Gosh, now I forgot what I was going to say. But it was. Oh, I remember. So when my in-laws passed away, okay, and my wife and I were going through the house, and we saw all these their family portraits of people, you know, really old photographs and things like that, and they're framed. And it's not like universal frames, right? It's just, I mean, they were bespoke frames for given pictures. But my wife has no idea who some of these people are because they go back so many generations that you just don't know who they are anymore, and they're not written on the back of the pictures. So my wife's like, I don't know what to do with these. I don't know who they are. I don't know anything. And then the other day, we went to Cracker Barrel for breakfast. And I go looking around, and I'm like, you know, I don't know who any of the people in these frames are either. I bet this is what happens to all the old people pictures that families don't know what to do.
Isn't that kind of like Applebee's?
Cracker Barrel buys them all. I'm like, we could just bring them here. Then you could visit the pictures when you come to eat. This is great. It could work out for everybody.
Well, that's what you do with high school memorabilia. You take it to your local Applebee's.
That's right.
Because they have all that stuff from all the local schools hung on the wall.
I mean, it used to be TGA Fridays and Chili's, but a lot of them aren't there anymore. So, yeah, you got to go to Applebee's if they're still open.
Yes. So if you need it, Shaggy, we have a high-speed photograph scanner.
No, these aren't. These are impossible to
scan. I know. I'm saying if you had like piles of actual photographs and you wanted to scan them in and get rid of them,
we do too.
We have a scanner for that.
We do too. I bought one for the project like 3 years ago. I scanned in all of my old pictures. Then I scanned in all of our family pictures. And so, yes, it's been a process. I also had to buy a slide scanner because my in-laws made slides of everything.
All right. Y'all are going to have to give me links to this stuff because I know damn well that there are pictures that are going to have to be scanned in on this end. I'm going to need info. I'm going to need model numbers. I'm going to need specs, DPI, 220, 221, whatever it takes. I need all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I could kind of tie us in because I have no idea how long this is going to take. But so we're talking about I need advice. Now I need the whole scanner thing. Shaggy and I were talking a little bit before the show, and we have situations where we need advice about potential purchases.
Yeah.
Because damn it, some of these decisions that have to be made are above my pay grade, and you two gents are exactly the gentleman that I need to talk to about my particular purchases.
All right.
But Shaggy, yours sounds like it's going to be much more expensive potentially, and I am salivating at the chance to spend your money. So, by all means, tell us about this.
So, anything computer related, we know is expensive right now, right? I mean, the chip shortage, the shutdowns in China, everything has gone through the roof. Nothing has been affected more so than graphics cards. All right. The price on graphics cards has been insane. And I've been wanting to upgrade mine for a while. I'm using a 1070 Ti, and sometimes, as we see on the show, it like glitches out for a little bit. We're asking a little bit too much of it. But during the show is like the only time that it ever has any issues, and maybe during Sonic Racing, but I don't barely ever play that. So I have the opportunity to purchase. At first, I was going to purchase a 3090. Somebody was going to sell it to me for like $1,600, and I said no. That is way too much, because I've also kind of been looking at a new laptop, and I'm like, well, that's a new laptop by itself, right? I mean,
yeah,
and that's a nice laptop. That's not like a low end laptop. So I said, yeah, no, thanks. I can't justify that much. So then a week or so goes by, and he's like, hey, a buddy of mine is selling a 3080 for $800, which is dangerously close to MSRP for that card. So not getting ripped off real bad, and is much more agreeable. But $800 for a video card still hurts a lot. That's a lot for a single component. Now there's a huge gulf between 1070 Ti and 3080. I mean, according to like the statistics, it's like a 3x or a 4x improvement. So I mean, there's a decent jump there, but it's also $800.
Now, there was. I gotta look because I thought I saw somewhere, and I thought maybe it was on Woot, that there was a decent video card for sale at a decent price, but I could be wrong. The more I'm thinking about it, I think it was a 1050 Ti, which is what I have in my machine, and it was selling for like $300. I was like, damn, that went up a lot from when I put it in my machine. Because the 1050 Ti was basically like the most popular card for entry-level gaming, which is easily what I can say I do.
Yeah.
I can't even say that I do that. And I already have a 1070 Ti.
Yeah, I have a RTX 2080 Super.
See, he's on. Wait, RTX is that's Radeon?
That's the ray tracing. Nope, that's NVIDIA.
Okay.
That's a GeForce RTX 2080 Super.
Oh.
Which has been, I think, is going to be fine for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, see, going from a 20 to a 30, there's not much of a difference. But from a 10 to a 30, there's a big difference. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The MSRP on that card is $700. So, like I said, you're not talking a lot over MSRP. So,
Oh, okay. Here it is. This is an RTX 3080 Ti, brand new, on sale for $1,200.
Yeah, that's a better card. But yeah.
Now, there's evidence, Shaggy, that the great video card glut is finally over, and so the prices might be coming back down to earth here pretty soon.
Yeah, I've heard that. Of course, I've heard that before. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm so on the fence. I haven't given them an answer one way or the other. I just said, boy, it makes it a lot easier to swallow at that price. But I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So anyway, if we have
I'm looking real quick to see if I can find. Looking real quick to see if I can find the other one that I thought was, because I thought there was a sub. Oh no, that's it. Well, that's a 1030, which yeah. Let's go from a 1070 to a 1030. That's perfect. I wish you could pick on deals of the day. Just pick video card.
Yeah.
No, computers and accessories.
The cheapest of my card on Newegg right now is $800. And there's one of them, $1,500. Yeah, the video card prices are just crazy.
Yeah, I mean EVGA supposedly says they have 3080s in stock, and the starting price is $980. It goes all the way up to $1,250 with water cooling, but who knows? So. Anyway, so that's my huge purchase dilemma that I have.
So what were the numbers again?
So it was I was looking at a RTX 3080 for $800, and it would be a Founders Edition. So
because I am seeing 3080s for $900, they're just new.
Yeah. And this is an X mining card, but supposedly it was taken care of. So that does add a little bit of depreciation to it. But according to a lot of studies I've seen, mining doesn't, as long as you don't overclock and do a bunch of crazy stuff to it, mining doesn't really affect the longevity of the card. So, as long as it's done responsibly, I guess you could call it, it's fine.
Well, and see, here's my thing, and maybe this is just me being paranoid, but something that big of a purchase, I don't think I would be doing third party without some kind of warranty.
Yeah, person to person.
I'm just too skeptical about that. I mean, look, I replaced my damn modem a couple of weeks ago. I finally was able to. I kept seeing. So I have Optimum and Optimum Voice. You only have two options for a cable modem. And they're both Aris, a 1602 and a 34 something, which is the 34 is what I wound up getting. One's a DOCSIS 3.0, one's a DOCSIS 3.1. I went up to the DOCSIS 3.1. I kept seeing them pop up on eBay for half the price.
Right.
But everybody's saying that they were locked because they were just not returned to a cable company, so they're MAC locked and can't be activated elsewhere, and then you're screwed. So I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm saying here is you can get a brand new, in stock, GeForce RTX 3080 for $899.
Yeah. And that extra $100 might be worth the peace of mind.
Not having one that's been mined out and still has a warranty on it.
Yeah. So.
And where's that from? Is there a potential for Rakuten or something?
Yeah. Oh, there might be. But I mean, they're actually. I mean, these cards are now actually in stock nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's air cooled, so you don't have to deal with trying to figure out how to water cool it.
Well, and like I said, it's actually, that's more power than what I really need. I would really be happy with like a 3070 Ti, or even a 3070 would be a significant improvement from what I have today. So a 3080 is overkill, and I hate paying for overkill. So, you know.
What you need is CUDA cores, right?
Yeah, more than anything else. But it's, no matter what, it's going to be an improvement. So like, here's an RTX 3070 Ti. It's from Newegg for $769, and it says it's available right now. So yeah, I could just get what I need and nothing more, and you know, still pay less. So yeah, I think that's probably where I'm looking. Is probably just to temper my expectations on what I really need, and just buy what I need, not what, you know, somebody has available. So, and that's if I really want to do this, which like I said, I'm not 100% sold on it yet, because I'm doing okay today. And there's things I probably could do to eke a little bit more power out of what I have, but anyway, moving on. Mike, what's your big purchase that you want to make that you need our help with?
Mine's not so much a big purchase as it is. I have a dilemma here. So I told you that I just upgraded my modem. Mm-hmm. I was having network issues, sporadic dropouts, and I switched. I got a new router. I got rid of my Netgear Nighthawk, and I wound up getting a TP-Link Archer Wi-Fi 6. Now, I also have the access point, the Ubiquiti Unify 8 long range in my attic to provide a Wi-Fi boost. Now, I'm at a point where the TP-Link router here is one mesh capable. So I can buy wireless extenders, and I believe they're tri-band, so they have a dedicated backhaul signal. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to go with that, or do I want to expand my Unify, which would involve me getting a Unify switch, because I don't want to have multiple PoE injectors all over. And at that point, do I go Wi-Fi 6 on Unify, even though the only things that I think are utilizing it are cell phones?
What version of Unify did you say you had?
I have an ACL long reach, UAP ACLR.
Okay, so that's the non-standard PoE.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I would have to go with a Unify switch on that. The other option, since that's only doing AC, do I switch over to Omeda and get
the other
this
thing
way?
is,
I can get a. Go ahead.
I was to say, the other thing is you could switch over to their Pro line, which uses standard PoE.
Well, I could. I believe their Wi-Fi 6 access points use standard PoE as well. So I think they use. Well, I think they do. I'm not. I can't confirm that. So I'm at a loss on how I want to grow my network here. I know I got to add another access point to expand my coverage so that my security cameras don't drop as much. I'd like to do something where I have seamless roaming, which means either I go Unify or I go with another. The one mesh did sound promising because there's no wired backhaul. I just need to have an open outlet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you, I had Ubiquiti in my house. In fact, I still have some Ubiquiti in my house. I use it for my long range from my house to my backyard garage, to connect those two. And then I also have one in my actual garage, my attached garage, just to basically give me better signal, just 2.4 G out to the front yard. And then I've got a 2.4 AC out in my backyard garage just to give me coverage in my backyard. So I'm using it where I need the distance more than anything else. Low bandwidth, high distance is where I'm using Unify. And then when I need in the house, I actually picked up a 3-pack of the TP-Link mesh pucks and the Deco.
Oh, the Deco?
Yeah, the Deco M5 is what I got. And they're interesting because they can use wired for the backhaul, but they don't have to. They can either establish a separate wireless network for the backhaul, or they can use wired for the backhaul. So, for example, if you get too far away from one of the other ones to establish a mesh over wireless, then you can use a wire to connect them, which is kind of I've had to actually do because I've got interference for some reason from one floor to another that wouldn't let it use wireless mesh. But that also means that the link speed is actually a lot better. So I've got a Deco down here. I've got one in the living room, and I've got one up in my bedroom. The one up in the bedroom is actually wired connected. And
I'm looking at that. That probably would have been the smart way to go. Because, I mean, the 3-pack of those is right around the price, a little bit more. If I went with the 2-pack even, right? Yeah. That would have covered the same price as the router. I would have had to get a decent switch,
right? Or
a bigger switch. I have an 8-port. I think I would need a bigger switch,
right? So, I
got sucked into Wi-Fi 6. That's the whole thing.
Which Wi-Fi 6 is great, except I believe it has obstacle problems, doesn't it? Isn't Wi-Fi 6 susceptible to like physical impediment?
I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
I thought that was Wi-Fi 6, like the AX standard was, if I remember testing correctly, like you could actually interrupt the AX standard with the box that your router came in empty. And it would have to kick down to one of the lower standards. Like if you put the access point here and your computer here, literally that close together, and you put the box in between, your signal got knocked down. Because at that wavelength, it does not do well for penetrating objects. So Wi-Fi 6 was great for open line of sight conditions.
And I know a lot of people, like on Slick Deals, are all, oh, well, I wouldn't go Wi-Fi 6, and 6E is coming out right now. Dude. Not all of us need low latency between our computers for a LAN party, all right? We don't all stream movies across our networks. Relax, dude. So I just wasn't sure. I was getting a little tired. I mean, I have Ubiquity set up right now. It would be easy to add another access point and just keep running how I'm running. I'm familiar with the operating system. I wasn't sure if it was worth it to try and consolidate it all to one vendor. I don't know if that's feasible.
I have heard Ubiquity's done some really great stuff. They've done some stuff that's pissed people off. It just depends. Like right now, I'm in the middle of dealing with my church, and some of the older long-range APs, they've actually, aged off, so they're no longer supported. Which I understand vendors want to do that at some point. I mean, these are the 2.4 only. The ABGs, they don't even support the N standard. Yep. And at some point, you've got the old green rings. At some point,
I have the one sitting over here that I had to replace with the the AC because it aged out. Yeah.
At some point, I understand you have to do that, but you know, on the other side of things, these are meant for like more permanent install type ones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you don't. It's wireless. It's not designed to be gigabit speeds, right? This is meant for, you know, casual browsing, mobile browsing. So, you know, does it really take that much to continue to put out security updates for it? I mean, I can't imagine that their code base is completely different for each of their APs. So, I don't know.
And the other thing too, like you alluded to, if they use the standard PoE protocol, then I am sure that somebody out there, the same way that you have like open
WRT.
Was it WRT or Tomato or whatever? You know, you got all of those different router operating systems, I guess you'd call them, that you could load on there. I'm sure somebody would figure one out for these outdated Ubiquity ones. But the fact that they use a non-standard PoE, why do you even want to mess with it? Because once those injectors die, then what do you do?
Yeah. Well, my my brother-in-law was wiring his house with Ethernet cable, and he actually tried to get help from an electrician, and they're like, "Why are you putting Ethernet cables in the house? Nobody does Ethernet cables anymore. It's all wireless." And we're like, "Yeah, they have no idea the speed difference between an actual piece of wire and anything wireless."
And you could say that wire also has a shelf life, you know, that eventually you're gonna, you know, if you wire with Cat 5e, that you're gonna, you know, eventually phase out of it. But sorry, Cat 5e's been going into buildings for like 10, 15 years now, and you can still get gigabit off of it. Who needs more than gigabit?
Yeah. Okay, but here's the other thing that people like. I hear people or see people asking questions like, "Oh, can this support link aggregation up to 2.5 gig?" Where are you getting internet that you have 2.5 gig? Look, I have 300 meg service at my house right now because that was the highest that my old modem would support. So I said, okay, fine. That's all I want.
Yeah,
and I was looking at the access points. I don't need an internet like the 2.4 gig. I don't need that to support 450 meg right now. Why? Because I don't get that to my house.
Well, yeah. I mean, your Achilles heel is always going to be your connection to the provider, right? Now, I do happen to have a higher bandwidth input, right? So I've got 1200 down, which is, you know, but my modem also has a 2.5 gig port on it for that reason, to support that higher bandwidth. I could do 2.5 if I wanted to. Comcast does offer that. It's stupid. I don't know who would have 2.5 down as a home customer. I mean, it's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I want it. I want it bad. All right? I don't need it, though.
No.
I don't need it. All right? I don't.
What VPN is going to give me that much bandwidth to download TV from UK? That's the question.
Yeah,
So, here's the other thing. The new modem that I have, since it's 3.1, will support up to 1 gig over coax. But Optimum's 1 gig over coax plan still only gives you like 40 megs up.
Yeah, that's mine.
Maybe 50 megs up. Whereas Optimum Fiber, it's like 940 symmetrical. Or 1 gig symmetrical.
Mine's like 1.2 down and 50 up or something like that is what my advertised speed is, which I get pretty darn close. You know, now right now I don't have a router that'll support the max download. So I could test the max download at the modem and know that I'm getting that much down, but my router only has a gig connection. I can max it out.
Right.
But that's it. And even if I could go faster than that, none of my machines have more than a gig connection. So I'm still limited. I don't have a 10 gig network yet. You know.
Well, and it's funny because my motherboard, when I put it in, it's got 2 Ethernet ports. I said, why the hell do I need 2? In case one breaks? No, they're on the same controller. What do I need 2 for? Oh, I can aggregate to have a 2 gig connection on my... Why?
Well, I mean, I understand it when
sense.
it comes to running a home NAS or something like that. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I would want to do that, and I'm the dork that would do it too. You know, I've been thinking. I've got my NAS box out there sitting on the bar right now, waiting for a rebuild, and I keep thinking, man, I need a 10 gig card in there. I can move it over here. I could then run a fiber line from it directly into this machine. Put a 10 gig card in here. Bing, bang, boom. I can move files back and forth all day. You know, no more issues with 4-day backups. You know.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, I mean, I made that mistake once where I was transferring files across USB instead of, you know, direct IP through a switch. I've made that mistake.
Oh, no,
before.
I was doing it over a switch, and it was still 4 days. Of course, I was moving 10 terabytes, but, you know.
Well, okay, yeah.
I was like, we're currently paying $80 a month for gigabit. I could pay $110 a month for 2. I can pay $180 a month for 5.
Yeah. So you suck.
But I'm looking at this going, most of my devices I'm just attaching through Wi-Fi anyway.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like going, why would I need 5 gig?
So here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
If you had
$1 million.
like households, I'm thinking like the like the D'Amelios, okay, where you got 2 Instagram influencers who are world famous in the house, plus all of your marketing stuff. If you had, not necessarily, okay, you may be using a gig, you may be using a gig, you may be doing this, and when you aggregate it up to all the people that are using the connection at the same time, okay, I can understand needing more than a gig. But for normal people, they're brainwashed into thinking that, oh, well, if you want to stream in HD on multiple televisions, you have to have a gig. Not really true. This is how the cable companies are making their money back because you're not getting TV from them anymore.
Yep. So.
Oh, the cat left. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. So so here's the other. So here is one other question that I have for you.
What's that?
All right. Now this is a home improvement question. So I know
I
we're
can
all
put this one.
home improvement experts. So I have a drip in my master bathtub. All right, coming out of not the shower head, but the bathtub, spout.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's a fairly regular drip, and no matter what you do, it's our shower doesn't have 2 knobs. It's got the one little knob that you never know whether to right is hot or left is hot, and so you eventually either freeze yourself or set yourself on fire when you're taking a shower. Yeah, it's got one of those.
It's old school. It's like a little joystick kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So no matter which way you turn it or how hard you push it in or pull it out, push it in, whatever, still drips. All right, it started this like a week ago. So you're sitting there on the toilet, which is right next to it, thinking about the world and things, as you do. And you just hear drip, 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 drip. Nothing for a while. Drip. And so you reach over and you start to futz with it, and it still does it. So the question is, do I, being me, all right, go through the crawl space, turn off the water to the whole house, disassemble the shower controls. Try and then solder probably on new ones, because I'm sure it's like some washer that's deteriorated over time because it's a piece of crap and the faucet's been there for 30 years.
Wait, hold on.
This drip.
Hold on. No, what brand of faucet is it?
I don't know, Bob's faucet. I don't know.
Oh no, see, you got to buy a Moen. You buy it for looks and buy it for life.
I would probably buy a Moen one when I bought a new one, but or do I use my special tool, which is
credit card
checkbook?
Oh,
checkbook.
I was close.
and pay someone else to fix this problem for me in probably half the time.
So this kind of boils down,
and a lot less damage to your house too.
And probably no worries at night about if it's going to start flooding all of a sudden. And by the way, my master bathroom is right above me, so that's not what I want to leak.
So, because probably all they need to do is take the faucet off, pull out the cartridge, put a new cartridge in, and put the handle back on. But you have to have the cartridge puller, and you have to know which one it is and which cartridge to get. And you pay, I don't know, other people in the house know, but you pay, let's say for argument's sake, even though it's probably low, let's say you pay $100, and then they come out and they say, oh, that's what that is, and because that's just the drive to your house fee.
Yeah,
and it probably would cover this, so that in parts, and it's done.
So you're saying for $200-300, I get this done, and I don't have to wake up at 3:00 in the morning going, "Do you hear water? Water's probably dripping downstairs. I'm going to go downstairs."
Okay,
and check.
so a couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, you knew somebody was going to ask if you watched YouTube to fix. So, have you watched YouTube to see if there's a fix?
I have not, because I haven't made the decision that I'm going to fix it myself yet.
Okay, and in his defense, Mama Blair, if he don't know what brand of faucet this is, it could very well be a losing battle trying to figure out what, it's different. Case in point, our oven is a convection, or has a convection mode, but I've noticed when I set it to convect, I don't hear the fan turning anymore. I was able to YouTube, because I know the model number of my stove, I was able to YouTube, how do I troubleshoot, and how do I change that? And found the part number and everything, 1, 2, 3. If you don't know the model number of your faucet, and you're just going off of like pictures, trying to figure out what it is and all, it could be problematic.
Yeah.
And it's going to wind up costing you 3 times as much as if you just called a damn plumber.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this also ties to a conversation that we had before the show also, where we're at the time of the year where the honeydew list in my house is exponentially growing.
Yeah.
And damn it, it's multiplying like it's the damn Ebola virus in Cedar Creek, Iowa, from the movie Outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is to paint my deck, which has never been done before, so there's all the prep work that goes along with it. No,
do that way.
I have
that way.
No.
Do that way.
No.
Up and
Because
down.
first
Up
you
and
have to-
down.
No.
Lock
Nope.
of the wrist.
Because first you have to sand the floor first,
Okay.
and then right the circle,
Left the circle. Right the circle.
Actually,
left the
no,
circle.
no. Sand the floor is this way. Right the circle, left the circle. Show me sand. Okay. So, I have decided that there are men out there that have giant machines that could sand this deck in an hour.
You could have just left it at there are men out there, and we're not one of them.
I would rather pay someone to do it and do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can rent the sander, but that's, doing it right is the other part.
The dude came over and he looked at my deck, and he had his little wheel, and he walked and he measured, and he went knocking on stuff. He goes, "Oh, your deck is very solid."
It's like it's a kid in
Yes,
the
it is.
1840s.
Thank you.
He had his little wheel. He went through the town.
So it was very, very friendly. So yeah, you know what? I would much rather give you my money to do this for me and do it right. At which point I turned to my wife and I said, "Okay, now pick a color." Mama Blair saying, "Okay, so this brings me to just a quick sidebar here. If the deck is nailed rather than screwed, nail heads will ruin the sander." Okay, so
Absolutely.
let me just say,
Absolutely, they will.
yes, they absolutely will. And let me just say that my deck is screwed, not nailed. And as boards were replaced over the decade that deck has been there, the screws have been replaced from the coated ones that are supposed to be lifetime in pressure-treated wood to stainless steel because, well, damn it, those coatings, apparently a deck is not supposed to last more than a decade. And those screws just rot away into nothing. And God forbid your joists are damp and you try to take them out, they have nothing to grip, and it becomes more of a pain in the ass, and I begin cursing in tongues when I have to try and replace boards then. Okay? I did not know I could speak in Aramaic. I can when I am extremely angry and my blood pressure both are in triple digits.
Yep.
The only thing I know how to say is words in Aramaic.
Yeah, it's very similar to my wife asked me today. She's like, "Do you think you're going to get the edger out and edge the front yard?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to get Facebook Messenger out and call the lawn guy that I had clean out the yard last year."
Oh, listen, we got a guy for that too.
I'm like, I'm going to call the guy.
Do I own a weed whacker and that I can use as an edger? Yes, I absolutely do. That's for emergencies only when we're having people over in between the lawn guy getting there. Our lawn guy, we got a new lawn guy this year. His name is Jesus Joe.
Back to your original question, Chad. The answer is $200.
$200. Boy.
$200 for them to come to your house. And I'll tell you what, because that's $200 for them to get to your house. And that covers pretty much, standard cost, right?
That's a lot cheaper than me burning down my bathroom trying to use a blowtorch to solder stuff.
Exactly. And if you need more things fixed in the house, then you should go ahead and create yourself a punch list. Because, one trip and having them do multiple things, which will cost more money. But still, one trip and getting everything fixed is better than just there.
You don't get charged that dispatch fee, that truck roll. You don't get charged for the truck roll multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like, you're here, let's fix all of this shit at once. You got a leaky outdoor faucet? Okay. Hell, I would pay somebody just as soon as you said crawl space. Listen, we don't have a crawl space in our house. I've seen them on TV, and I will be damned if you're ever going to get me to crawl into a crawl space. My father-in-law up in Maine is on a manufactured home. The old one is just on blocks. Said, "Oh, well, in order to winterize it, you got to go underneath." I said, "The hell I do. I'll burn this bitch down before I crawl under this thing." He says, "Well, he said, and the new home that he lives in now, that's built on a slab, so it's concrete on that." I said, "I will go under that," and I do. I go under that when I go up there to help him winterize or get ready for the winter. I plug in the heat tape on the water pipes, and we re-grease the self-resetting mousetrap with peanut butter, to keep the damn mice, which I'm not a fan of, but okay, I get it. He's up in the woods. You got to do something. Make sure all the things. I'll go under there because it's concrete. And okay, but the other one, that's the ground, and not to mention, the thing is old enough that the last time I went in there, I'm walking down the hallway, and I had to stop myself and ask if I've been drinking because as I'm walking, the floor is kind of a little wavy. So you got to crawl underneath to drain it. The hell I do. Said, get one of them adapter thingies, and we'll just I'll open all the faucets and the outside spigot. I will hit with the air compressor and blow all the water out inside. That's how we're going to clear out the pipes.
Our crawl space is actually pretty good as crawl spaces go, because with doing wiring, I've been in quite a few that suck. But ours is like, it's got a pretty heavy rock base, and we actually have put Visqueen over quite a bit of it, and even cardboard on top of that. So that
what?
Plastic, clear plastic.
Okay.
And
Visqueen.
then we've put cardboard over the majority of where you're actually kneeling to do work for like where the cable jacks are and stuff like that. So we've made it as comfortable as a crawl space can be. So yeah, it's not my favorite place to go, but but as I get older, it's a pain to get into and out of with my knees. Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so
too old for that.
Right there. Okay, first of all, you got children and grandchildren that you can be like, listen, go turn that knob.
Yeah.
Get under there, turn that knob. But I think right there, that's worth the $200. Turn it off, and hey, while you're here, can you put a remote control, solder this switch in there so that I could just go to an app and say, shut all the water off. Well, this way, I don't ever have to go under this bitch again.
I kind of do want somebody else to do it, because the last time that they had to turn the water off from the main, it actually broke, and they had to replace the main shut off. So that's why I don't want to get caught with that problem. So yeah. All right. So yeah. So that. And maybe it's time we break up a little bit of our decisions and we go with something that we do know. Mike, you were challenged with coming up with a game for tonight.
I have a game for tonight. It's a very simple game. It's called I Should Have Known That. And I'm just going to ask you guys questions. This is kind of the PTR equivalent of Are You Smarter Than the Average Bear?
Okay.
And we're just going to keep score and see who gets. We're going to do round of 10 here with a chance to steal. I will keep score.
All right. Chance to steal.
So, like, if you get it wrong,
okay,
Colin will have the chance to steal.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay, so we got Colin. Okay, where's my quarter? We're going to... All right, Colin, you're going to call it. Heads or tails?
Tails.
Heads.
Heads. So, Shaggy.
Yes.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. Why not?
I got to write. I'm just going to number here, so I know this way we don't go crazy. Okay. Okay, Shaggy.
Yep.
In what girl group
was
the singer Beyonce Knowles a member of from 1997 to 2005?
TLC?
That is incorrect. Colin, would you like to steal?
Destiny's Child.
Colin is correct.
Ah, dang it.
Destiny's Child. Okay. Colin. Which side is port and which side is starboard on a boat?
Dang it. Think.
Here, and we're going to clarify. When standing on the ship, facing the front.
Okay, there's 50-50 here, so you have a 50-50 chance here, Shay.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say left.
No, you have to tell me which side is port and which side is starboard.
Oh, left and right.
So left is port and right is starboard is your answer?
Yeah, that's the answer I went with.
Okay. Colin is correct.
Oh, wow.
I always remember that because port and left both have 4 letters.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I like that one.
All right.
I'm getting ready for a cruise, so this is something I've been...
You better know.
Okay, Shaggy, this one should be a give me based off of current events.
Uh-huh.
What is the capital of Ukraine?
Kyiv?
Correct. Very good.
I always want to say Kiev, but it's not. It's Kiev.
So yeah, it's Kiev.
Because it used to be, everybody thought it was Kiev because it's chicken Kiev.
Okay. Colin, what 2 ingredients are found in a screwdriver cocktail?
My connection just glitched, so I didn't hear what he said.
Okay. What 2 ingredients are found in a screwdriver cocktail?
Is that orange juice and vodka?
That is correct.
I disagree with their definition. It's orange juice, vodka, and triple sec. It's a traditional recipe.
Okay.
So anyway. All right, continue.
Let's see. What does someone with acrophobia fear?
I want to say it is the fear of water.
That is incorrect.
Ugh.
Colin.
Heights.
Correct. Colin is walking away with this one.
Yes, he is.
What artist is associated with the alter ego Ziggy Stardust?
Oh, that's David Bowie.
Correct. Don't you listen to me anymore, damn Alexa thing. Okay. 7. Shaggy?
Mm-hmm.
You better get this one right. How many fingers does Mickey Mouse have on each hand?
Are we counting thumbs?
How many fingers does Mickey Mouse have on each hand?
Like, are we totaling them up? Or are we doing each, because...
How many fingers
Okay.
does Mickey Mouse have?
Well, he's got 3 fingers on each hand, so it's 3 if you're asking the question. Otherwise, it's without thumbs. It's 4 if you're counting the thumb, or if you're counting both of them together, both hands together, then it's 8. It just depends on how you're asking the question.
Yes.
Boy, I
That
feel
also
like
includes just about every cartoon character in
I
existence.
really feel like Colin right now, where it depends on the details of your question and how you're asking it.
Fine. You know what? It's 4. I'm going to give you a different one. I'm going to re-ask the question because, damn it, there's too many. What's this? Okay. What country is Samsung from?
South Korea.
Correct.
Ah,
Shaggy is potentially still in this. He could tie it if he gets all of the. If Colin doesn't get any and Shaggy gets all the remaining ones. Here we go.
in with a chance.
Shaggy, you're screwed.
Yes, I am. Totally boned.
What is the name of the actor who plays Mr. Bean?
Ron Atkinson.
Sorry, Shag. Shaggy, here we go.
It was going to be a British question. I knew it was going to be a British question. He was going to get it without any problems. I knew you had to just do British, didn't you? Where was your hatred of the British, Mike? Where was it, huh? Why couldn't you discriminate against the British?
Apparently nowhere in the other questions that you got wrong either. So you can't blame it on me here when you lost by this much. Jesus. Okay, here you go. What does a camel store in its hump? Shaggy.
Boy, now all I'm thinking about is that milkshake song. No, I believe it is I'm going to say water, but I know that that's probably wrong, but I'll say water.
Nope. Sorry, that is
it's
incorrect.
It's not.
Colin?
That was a weird question. Because there's going to be some fat, maybe some meat, lots of hair. I mean, if they're going to go with water, then I was going with fat. I don't know.
That is correct.
Of course it is.
Fine.
Of course it is. This is. I should have known what Colin knows. That's what the name of this game is.
All right, Colin.
Can you
What French?
Yeah.
What French phrase indicates ready-to-wear clothing that is intended to be worn off the rack without significant alteration? I would have.
It's one of them that I've heard, but I can't remember.
Shaggy?
Have your chance, Shaggy.
Boy. All I can think of is a la carte. And I know that's not it. But I'll go with it.
No.
Hey, at least I said something French. I didn't say I didn't know.
Pret-a-porter.
Yeah, no, I was not going to get that one.
No, I was never going to get that one.
All right, so after 10 questions, it's 7-2, Colin. So, just, all right, we're going to do the golden question here.
Okay.
Shaggy gets this one right. He wins.
Just not going to happen.
Can't make this too easy for you.
What is 1 plus 1? 3?
1 plus 1 is 10.
How many letters
Oh, Jesus.
are in the Latin or Roman alphabet?
I will say 20. Just go with 20.
Incorrect. Colin?
'Cause I don't know.
I don't remember exactly. It's like 6 or 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
I guess we got to do another question. 26.
Hey,
26.
I was closer than 6 or 7.
Okay.
Oh, wait. What was the question again?
How many letters in the Latin or
Or
Roman
in the
alphabet?
Latin or Roman
okay.
alphabet.
I was thinking numbers. Because there's letters in the numbers. And I was, yes, go ahead.
Food in the beer, but there's no beer in the food. What? All right. Well, okay, Shaggy.
Uh-huh.
That one's kind of vague. All right. In what British band was Mark Knopfler the lead singer?
I will go with... I think that was Johnny Rotten. Because I was going to say The Clash. Don't think that's right. It's not The Who. I guess we'll just say The Clash because I don't know.
Sorry, no. Colin, it's British. You should know this.
Yeah, it's British. I know the name, but I can't remember.
Oh!
Actually, I'll just go with...
I didn't even know they were a British band.
Well, that's fair because I didn't know either, but I knew the name. I knew his name, so.
Oh, so I'm sorry, I missed it. What was it?
No,
I didn't say it.
we didn't say it. I just
Oh.
said I didn't know they were a British band.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't go with randomly Led Zeppelin.
No, Shaggy?
Dire Straits.
Yes.
Not one I listen to. Actually. So I recognize the name, but I don't recognize the music.
We're just gonna do a couple of I'll throw them out at you.
Okay.
And just whoever. The word atom, atom, comes from the Greek atmos, which means what?
Small.
No.
Tiny. Mike the Ape Man's penis.
Shut up.
Indivisible?
Indivisible. Damn, Colin.
Jeez.
See what happens? Karma here, Shaggy. You see what happens? What is the name of Super Mario's brother in the video game Super Mario Brothers?
Luigi.
Very good. You finally got one. I'm proud of you.
Jeez. It's Giuseppe.
What kind of... What is the Amsterdam district of Devalen,
Red light.
more commonly known? Yeah, of course you'd know that one, you pervert. Which book by Alexandre Dumas do we encounter the character D'Artagnan?
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan, that's it. D'Artagnan, yes. How many seconds are there in 1 hour?
Oh, that's a math question, and I can't do that. Without a calculator.
Well, it's 3,600.
Correct, Shaggy. Proud of you. I think you may
It's
actually
6
be catching
times
up
6
here.
plus 2 zeros.
Yes, correct. See? Look at you. What currency is used in Russia?
The ruble.
Correct. And finally, we'll end on this one. Who played Tom Kazansky in the 1986 film Top Gun?
Oh.
Is that the name he's known as?
No.
That was his character's name.
Tom
Okay,
Kazansky was...
So is that Iceman, or is that somebody else?
That was Iceman, correct.
Oh, it's Val Kilmer then.
Ah, damn it. I couldn't think of Val Kilmer. I knew it. I'm like, they just did a biography on him. Or he just did his own, yeah.
Tom Kazansky. All right, so that's...
So here's one I'm going to try, and we'll see if this is something we can do in the future. Okay? Or if this is not going to work. So, let's see.
OTTFFSS.
Yes. What is the next
what's
letter?
the question?
What's the next
E.
letter?
Yes. Mike has it. It's E.
Oh, okay. I have no clue.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
Okay.
So, 8.
Ah,
E.
okay. Okay. Now I get it.
Okay.
So, there's a new show, game show that has a bunch of those, and so I might bring some next time.
Okay.
But I know some people I know don't like those kinds of things, and so I didn't know. So anyway, that was a nice little text.
So, all right. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about something else really good, and possibly something bad. I found out something today that I did not even know was on the horizon. But one of the greatest shows of all time is coming back, and it's going to be all original on Netflix. Iron Chef.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I heard that.
I did see your post there, but I've also seen other posts because Netflix is in the news for other reasons. They had a massive subscriber drop recently.
Of course they did.
Yes.
And some people are saying that it's a result of their hot and cold series. So they will run a series for an amount of time to get people hooked, and then they will drop it like a hot potato.
Yeah. Netflix typically has 3 or 4 seasons max for a show.
And
that's been happening not just Netflix. That's been a streaming thing across the board. So J. Michael Straczynski, the guy who created Babylon 5, who also had done a Netflix show, but he was talking about that on Twitter. He said, "Yeah, that's really what." So what's going on there was their statisticians were seeing that a new show would bring people in, but after a couple seasons, it was no longer bringing anybody in. So they decided it didn't make any sense to throw money at it because you already have those subscribers. So if we're seeing a situation where people are starting to leave the streamers because the shows have been canceled, then that's going to change the equation. And so it isn't just Netflix, it's all the streamers. This is a good thing for us. This little drop here, as long as they get the right message from this, then they'll start going, okay, well, these shows that people like, maybe we should just keep making them, even though they're not necessarily
because
more people.
I mean, it's one thing to bring an audience to you. It's another thing to keep them there. They're not just going to stay there for the heck of it, and you are pissing them off by getting rid of the reasons they came there in the first place. I mean, I understand that sometimes there are artistic reasons to quit doing a show. BBC is famous for this, right? They will run a show for 3, 4, 5 seasons and then call it quits with a conclusion to the show, right? They will leave fans happy with the way that it ended, and they will just move on to the next thing. And that is the proper way to do it. These folks are leaving people in a lurch, and just dumping them off and saying, okay, well, sometimes with a cliffhanger, which sucks. I mean, and that's no good for anybody. And Netflix aren't the only ones to do this. A lot of other properties are doing this. In fact, there's a lot of conversations right now about Amazon, who bought out MGM, and with that comes the Stargate franchise. And I guess that Brad Wright, who was the creator of the TV properties for Stargate, said that he has been working for a while now on the next Stargate franchise piece. And it is not a reboot of any of the previous ones. It will be a new property, but it will bring to conclusion things which people were not happy about, such as what happened to Eli in SGU, which fans are very excited about because that was a cliffhanger ending. We don't know what happened to Eli. Did he live? Did he die? What happened? What happened to the crew that went to sleep for 3 years? That's, as a fan, that was extremely frustrating, not knowing. Talk about blue balls. That's what it was.
I don't want to see SGU continued. I just want to see SGU concluded.
Yeah. So
because I didn't really like SGU in general because it just didn't feel like Stargate.
Well, but that's the thing is, you couldn't. I liked it because it wasn't like the other Stargates. It was a different type of show, so it had a different feel to it, and it wasn't a typical sci-fi. It was different, and so it brought in a different fan base. It had a different, appeal to it, rather than just, it wasn't SG-1, it wasn't Stargate Atlantis, it was its own thing, which I think, if I'm understanding Brad right correctly, that's what the next thing is going to be. It's going to be its own thing, but with flashbacks or references to the other properties, so that people can get closure and we can bring those people along for the ride to the new one, because you've got to bridge, those people into whatever new thing you're going to do. But regardless, I mean, that's just one property that's maybe going to have a revival. we've got other properties, because along with the announcement of Iron Chef came the announcement of the cancellation for Legends of Tomorrow. Again, here's another series that, they're leaving us on a bit of a cliffhanger. The whole crew's going to jail. It's now we don't know what's happening next. So what is going to happen to the crew of the Wave Rider, and what's going to happen with the baby and all these people? We don't know. We won't know.
Okay, so while we have a special guest here, I'm actually going to duck out for a few minutes because my browser is messing up more and more.
Okay.
I need to reboot this. So I have fun. I will return.
Okay. So we do have a special guest in studio, Mr. Shathid, who we go to occasionally for commentary, especially on things of controversial nature. He loves to give us his opinion. So, Mr. Shathid, thank you for coming in studio. And can you tell us what you think about this latest news regarding both Iron Chef and Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes, it's very important that children leave room now. Mr. Shited will be very colorful on commentary. You have 3 seconds. 2, 1. Such bullshit. Number 1.
Always.
Iron Chef comeback. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very happy about this. Must have battle pork roll. Otherwise, it's bullshit. None of this safe ingredient give regional special things like pork roll.
Mr. Shathid, out of curiosity.
Battle White Castle slider.
Out of curiosity, were you a fan of the Tournament of Champions? Guys, Tournament of Champions? And the randomizer? I think maybe pork roll should be included in the randomizer for a protein.
Guy Fieri can swing from Mr. Shit's shirt. He is too. As for Legends of Tomorrow, CW make a big issue. They cancel Batwoman 2.
Yeah.
Mr. Shite think this mean CW racist. Now that they have women of color as Batwoman, the cancel show is bullshit. Where is the protest?
That's a good question.
Why? They also bring Booster Gold in as a black character on Legends of Tomorrow and cancel show.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact that in next season, Mr. Shited was hired to be villain in episode.
Really? You were going to be in season 8 of Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes. Mr. Shited was to be villain in season 8. The Crab Master.
Crab Master.
Crap.
Crap Master.
The Crap Master.
Okay, for a second I thought maybe you were going to get some red claws and, maybe they were going to threaten you with butter or something.
No.
Okay.
The Crap Master, his superpower clog all toilets.
Well, there
And
is only
Booster
one.
Gold was to be the one to unclog.
See, there is only one toilet on the Wave Rider, so that would be a problem.
Gideon would flip.
Yeah.
Mr. Shited going to impregnate Gideon too.
Okay. Well, I can't really blame you on that one. But that would be an interesting merging, really. All right.
First, computerized poop.
Okay.
The fuck is that?
We're taking turns. We're better than you, Mr. Shathid.
Fantastic. Colin, you miss where Mr. Shited criticized CW saying cancellations are racist in nature because both shows were centered around introductions of black characters. That should be focus of protest now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We should protest. There should be a protest.
Well, it's not the CW, it's the company buying the CW. They're the ones who must be the racists.
Who buys CW? Who owns the CW?
Well, the CW is owned by Warner Brothers and somebody else, but they're selling the CW.
To who?
That's on
Mr. Shitade name. Mr. Shitade have time, unemployed. I show up and make them change their mind. I need their name.
Yeah.
So it's owned by Viacom, CBS, and Warner Media. Currently.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Shitade. Did you have any contract work signed already for next season? Or was it just your agent talking to their people?
He's my agent, who also represent Gary Busey. The fuck.
You might. I mean, I think that agent also represents a couple other people. If I'm not mistaken, Randy Quaid is also represented by that agent, if I remember correctly.
Colin, you be Mr. Shitade's new agent, yes?
Sure. So it's being bought by Nexstar, which is the company that owns most of the CW stations is trying to buy the CW itself.
Mr. Shitade confused.
So if Mr. Shitade is going to watch the CW locally, what channel are you going to watch?
11. WPIX.
Yep, that's owned by Nexstar. So the company that owns 11 is going to buy the CW.
Then why cancel shows? Other cancellation news must talk. When TNT decide no scripted programs, TNT become the Christmas Story channel 24/7 365.
Yes.
How you call yourself network? How you call yourself station with no original show? This bullshit too. That means PTR could be a station.
Well, I mean, we are, obviously. We've outlasted a lot of other stations, so obviously we're the better.
It's true. It's true.
So look at TNT. So many years ago, Babylon 5 was syndicated, and then for the last
to Babylon 5 with this one.
Oh,
it goes to TNT. So it goes to TNT, right? And then they do another show after that, and then they canceled it. Why did they cancel it? Because TNT did polling and found out that everybody watching Babylon 5 on TNT came to TNT, watched Babylon 5, and then left again. So they canceled the show because it had nothing to do with their bread and butter, which at the time was watching professional wrestling. So that's how the TNT then went from having good television to just having lots of non-television, because they decided that professional wrestling and shows like that made more money for them. So the answer to all questions is money.
So
it's bullshit though that they get rid of scripted programming but keep wrestling, which is scripted.
Yes, but cheaper.
Wrestling. Is true.
So you get a whole stadium of people to pay for the actual wrestling part, and then you put it on television for free.
So, Mr. Shathid, just so you know, I don't know if you're familiar with your current agent's lineup, but I was able to find out, thanks for sending me his information, by the way, who he's currently or has in the past at least represented.
Who
And
else?
I think it's a good idea that you switch representation. So
They work for more. They get more work than Mr. Shited.
well, not anymore. This one at least. Dustin Diamond was a former person represented by him. And then Gary Busey, who you know about, obviously. Winona Ryder. You know, she was big in the 80s at least. I think that's where your agent made most of his money. Macaulay Culkin.
Winona Ryder get part in Stranger Things.
Well, maybe he's doing a good job for some of his clients. Wesley Snipes. He credits your agent for all of his tax recommendations. Nick Nolte.
My agent do Mr. Shitate's taxes. Oh, shit.
That's could be a problem. Shia LaBeouf and Corey Feldman were just a few that I was able to find on his LinkedIn page.
This is not good.
Yeah, because if Mr. Shitate isn't careful, he's going to end up with a bag over his head. And then
Mr. Shitate, not careful, be stuck recording stupid song about Ascension Millennium Part 2.
So,
by angels.
You might want to look at some new representation there.
Oy.
I hear good things about this guy named Jerry Maguire. Maybe you could look into him.
Wonder if Estelle, who represent Joey Tribbiani, available.
Could be. Don't know.
Mr. Shitate could replace Victor on Young and Restless. Yes.
Maybe. I hear that there's some good openings for twins. Do you have a twin?
Cooking toilet.
Well,
I think the obvious answer is to figure out who Betty White's agent was, because he's obviously available now and an expert in making you America's sweetheart. So you have Mr. Shitate bobbleheads on
Maybe
everybody's. And you could be in the next. You could be in the new Golden Girls.
Mr. Shitate could. No, Mr. Shitate can't go on Masked Singer because pile of poop. Everyone know Mr. Shitate. poop emoji, Mr. Shitate. Even Nicole Scherzinger will figure that one out right away.
Well, at least they won't walk out. When you're revealed.
They might. Mr. Shitate giant poop emoji could be stinky.
I guess. Could be.
But little known fact, Mr. Shitate have singing voice of angel, so all judges off. Accent could be problem though.
Could be. Well, we just have to get some songs that leverage your accent. Maybe back in the USSR, or something like that.
You imply Mr. Shitate Russian?
Well, it's closer to your
Mr.
native
Shitate,
country.
not Russian.
I mean,
I think Mr. Shitate could do some good nerdcore.
Could possibly. Anyway,
If the fuck is nerdcore?
Nerdcore like MC Hawking.
Who?
MC Hawking.
MC Hawking.
You know MC Hawking.
Mr. Shitate being punked?
No, MC Hawking, very very famous.
Yes.
Very very famous.
Very famous
rapper.
nerdcore rapper. Yeah.
Yes. It was.
You pull Mr. Shitate's leg. No such thing, nerdcore. Bullshit.
Oh no, very 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 famous.
The web.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's
MC Front-A-Lot too. I almost forgot the MC Front-A-Lot.
yes. Well.
So MC Mr. Shitate.
Yeah. Let's see here. I will get an example of MC Hawking here in just 1 second. Just takes a minute to pull
You
up.
do that, send to Mr. Shitade. Mr. Shitade must go possibly look for a gas pipe.
Okay. All right. You do that. You do that. Thank you so much, Mr. Shitade. We will we'll definitely be in touch. So anyway. Oh boy.
This is normally the time where we would do the movie review, and we're not doing a movie review this week because, well, we suck.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Only one of us saw both of the movies.
Yeah. But that's okay.
So that's yeah.
You know, it is it sometimes plans don't always go to plan. Especially when we're doing back-to-back weeks and
Yes, but they're also extremely long movies. If we'd been thinking ahead when we were doing a back-to-back week, we would have made sure not to pick movies that were over 2 hours long each.
Ugh, yeah. So there was a question about MC Hawking, Mike. Have you actually heard MC Hawking before?
For some reason, I think I have, but...
All right, so it is...
Universal constant, I'm a singularity. Got Doomsday at my back with fat-ass cracks. He pumps funk in the cracks and cuts wax with an X. So listen up, bitch, cause there may be a test. My style is smooth, but it's hard to digest. My science is tight, rhymes faster than light. Like a ton of TNT, I'm about to ignite.
About that.
E equals...
Yeah.
There's something so wrong about that.
Yeah. It's pretty wrong.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, look.
We will
record,
review the movies. It's just not this week.
Correct. I have to say that I did watch the one today. I had previously watched Don't Look Up before it was even on the list, so I could have winged that one, but I was pleasantly surprised by Freaks. And I'll leave it at that as the temptation.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So now we do have other things to talk about. So we may have alluded to this earlier, but Hallmark is losing some of their talent.
This is,
and we've talked about this.
No,
before.
I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
So
yeah, Hallmark. But here was my thing. So you posted up this article that Hallmark signed 2 major stars because Candace Cameron Bure went to GAC.
Which Candace Cameron Bure isn't the only Hallmark star to leave and go to GAC. First,
okay, but she's
the latest and she's one of the biggest names.
Yeah. So this says 2 major stars signed. I never heard of either one of these people.
Well, they're major within the,
Don't you say the Hallmark universe?
Yeah. Well, one's from Friday Night Lights. Evidently, they have a regular appearance there, which I didn't watch, so I wouldn't know. So I suppose that they could be considered a star because they have a regular appearance on a fairly popular.
All right, so now I gotta look up.
But then I have no idea who and that's Amy Teagarden, which doesn't mean she'll be reprising the role of Aurora Teagarden in any way. And then Taylor Cole, okay, so I am happy about. Is that? I wonder if that's who I think it is. I'm happy about Taylor Cole just in general, I'll say. I wonder if she was in. No, she wasn't in that. She wasn't in that. I wonder if she was.
I'm looking. Okay, so she had a recurring role in Salvation. So, all right, let's talk about cliffhangers on that freaking show.
Recurring in Heroes. Secret. I don't know. In The Event. CSI Miami, she was a recurring role in 11 episodes over 6 years. No. She was in a movie or two.
What's his name again?
Taylor Cole.
I've never heard of her.
I don't know, but I'm happy about the picture on IMDb.
She kind of looks like, well, okay, Notorious. I'm like flipping through her pictures on IMDb and trying to see if there's anything I recognize her from, and no, I can't say that I do. But she looks like she would fit in well in the Hallmark universe.
Yeah. For a second, I thought she was Joe from Eureka.
For a second there, I thought she was dollar store. Oh, never mind. I'm not even going to do that. We're not doing that today. She was in The Rookie, an episode of The Rookie, and he's not even the Rookie anymore. So why do they still call it The Rookie? We got a new Rookie.
I got that. It's a spinoff. That they did like a backdoor spinoff. I think this week. I don't know. I've only watched like one episode of that, so I have no idea what's going on.
I don't know. These are not. So, my point to it was we could be part of a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
We could easily fit into the Hallmark universe. I mean, every town has guys like us.
Well,
in every story.
Or the leading girl has a nerdy friend. Even if it's just a cut call-to shot. Where she needs to vent about her current boyfriend or
she needs
something.
to FaceTime with somebody. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, Janet, you just got to follow your heart. Whatever it
Listen,
takes.
I could
maybe this isn't the right job for you.
Or, Shaggy, you could play like the TJ Miller style bartender that she opens up to when her heart gets broken, and you encourage her to go chase after the dude before he gets on that plane.
Hey,
that's in every movie.
At this point,
or on the bus or something.
With the lack of hair, I could play the high school principal who offers, the out-of-work actor a job coaching the football team. All right, that would be more likely my role.
I'll play the bartender then.
Or the cabbie, that says, okay, here we go, and we travel back through time so that she can undo some mistake in her past.
Do that.
That's more my role right now. With this going on right here.
I mean, I could be the guy at the cell phone store that, I need to get these pictures off of this broken phone because it's it's the last pictures I have of Derek. And certainly, man, let's see what we can do to make sure you don't lose those memories. Come on.
That's right.
See, I can do it.
You and your orange shirt and your iPad and your go-get-'em attitude.
But Shaggy, when you're the taxi driver, are you going to be the nice taxi driver or the Buster Poindexter taxi driver?
I am going to be the Cliff Clavin taxi driver.
Okay, well,
in Shaggy's defense, Buster Poindexter cab driver, at the end was the nice cab driver.
Yeah.
Can you get me to what floor? He got Claire to him real quick.
Sure.
So
I mean, but yeah, my wife is pissed about this news because she's like, that means I'm not getting no more Aurora Teagarden. And there's 18 books in that series, and they ain't even halfway through yet. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
but
I don't know what to tell you. I am mad because Zane Donovan ain't going to be in no more movies because and Brandon Routh
throwing all of these
done.
Names out that I just don't know who the hell you're even talking
It's
about.
funny because Aurora Teagarden, the only reason why I knew anyone in that show was because Aurora Teagarden's new husband in that show is the guy who played Zane Donovan in Eureka. So I know a character from a sci-fi show that happened to be in a Hallmark show. Just like the 12 Kittens of Christmas and the 9 Lives of Christmas shows on Hallmark star Brandon Routh, who is from Legends of Tomorrow. He's the Adam.
What is this, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon that you're trying to do here?
No, I'm just saying this is the only way I survive Hallmark shows is by finding characters who I care about and then making up a universe that doesn't exist.
Know how?
Because I go,
I survive.
Eureka must be next door to this town.
Would you like to know how I survive Hallmark shows? I go to another room.
Well, yeah, but I don't even think Kim watches Hallmark shows.
She gets sucked in. At least 2 or 3 weekends, she gets sucked in for a half a day. Stuck on the couch, usually if it's snowing, stuck on the couch under the blanket, watching Hallmark, and she just gets sucked in. Because there's usually she'll be watching, and there'll be one with a cat or a stray dog.
9 Lives of Christmas.
And she's got to find out what happens with the
12 Kittens of Christmas.
Firehouse Cat.
Yep, that's
No,
all right. Sucked into that.
That's Ambrose.
I can completely. I love this idea, Shaggy. It is great. I'm going to remember this for all the movies in the future or TV shows that I'm being forced to watch. I'm just going to sit there and try to figure out what of the objects I'm seeing is the artifact that Artie is going to try to get back for the warehouse.
Okay, so here, Mama Blair says that she could be the shoulder to cry on. All right, so here's what we're going to do. At one point, I've had too much to drink tonight. At one point during the holiday season, when these craptastic things start airing, we are going to all watch one.
Oh, we don't have to wait till the holiday season. Hallmark has made Christmas year-round.
I will fight you. All right, I am not watching Hallmark. I'm not watching Hallmark movies in the summer. That's not happening.
Oh, it's a summer of love. That's when you get the Hallmark wedding movies.
Don't give a damn. We're doing a Christmas one because at least then I can relate that it's Christmas and there's eggnog.
You can do Christmas in July.
So
they run them all month long.
Listen. So here's the deal. Okay, we're gonna watch one of these, and not only are we gonna review it, but we're gonna all pick which role we feel we could have slotted into. That's going to be our goal.
Okay. I'm good with
because we are going to petition ourselves to try and get into the Hallmark universe.
Dear
you
Hallmark.
Feel me?
Yeah, I got you. By the way, I think Dolly's putting out another one this year for Hallmark. Dolly Parton. So, my wife will love that one. She will love that challenge for us. Okay. What else do we got for today?
People's Court. Yes, the People's Court. Yes, we watch that too. Hot Bench, we don't watch that. People's Court only because it's on, on Channel 5 before TMZ.
Let's see here. So, Mike, one thing that makes Hallmark movies better is being stoned. So, you posted an article. First day of recreational marijuana sale in the state of New Jersey brings in nearly $1.9 million.
Yeah, it brought almost $2 million in just one day. 12. I didn't do the math on this. I wanted to do the math. Where's my damn calculator? So that $2 million was
12,438 customers.
So each customer spent on average $161.
That's
on the first day.
A lot.
Now I don't know how much that actually got them. So that's question number one. The average daily alcohol sales last year in New Jersey was about 490,000, and I believe that includes liquor stores and restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So you did like 5 times as much for in pot sales. Related note: my taxes have not gone down as a result
I
of
think
these
they may
sales.
have to measure over like a year before they can make adjustments, Mike. You know, obviously this will result in a huge property tax lowering as a result of Illinois decriminalizing marijuana and my tax bill going up $300 this year. So, I mean, we know that it works.
Okay, so you decriminalized it.
Yes.
There's a difference. So decriminalizing reduces the penalty for possessing.
Well, actually, we
that,
did legalize it for adult recreational use. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
as a result, obviously everything worked. There was a huge boom for taxes, and you know, as such an increase in tax income went to the state, my property taxes went up $300. So you know, that's the way that it works.
I'm willing to bet that your taxes are still probably about half what mine are.
I don't know. I will tell you, it's in the 4-digit figure. So.
Okay, and
it's about $5,000 right now.
Okay, well, okay, so it's not half. It's lower. It's lower than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's around a little over 7.
Yeah.
And you've seen the amount of property I have. Okay.
Yeah.
It's sickening that I probably have half the property that you do, and my house is not as big as yours.
Yeah.
And I'm paying much more in taxes. I hate New Jersey. I swear to God, I will. Governor Mr. Ed, I swear to God that. Oh, let me drink some more.
So, so yeah, I mean, you know, obviously everything's working perfectly, but it's interesting. I was at a party this last weekend, and somebody was talking about it, and they're like, "Listen, you know, I go home and I drink a 6-pack of beer." He goes, "You know, before marijuana was legal, I would drink a 6-pack a night." He goes, "Now, I smoke, you know, 1 joint a night. My costs have gone significantly down. You know, I don't have a hangover the next morning or anything like that." He goes, "It's actually better for me than drinking all the beer or hard liquor or whatever it was that he was doing." And so he's like, "This is a healthier alternative for me than, you know, the other." So you got to pick your battles, I guess. I mean, he is staying at home. He's not getting out behind the wheel or anything like that. You know, so it just really depends upon what your devil is that you want to, you know, imbibe in. So
yeah, I mean, I want to. Am I curious? Would I try it? Yeah, I would. Not smoking. I would try an edible probably.
Yeah, I mean, lately my headaches have come back with a vengeance, where they're like 2 or 3 day long headaches, and the drugs that the doctor gave me haven't been working. And so I have a choice. I can either call him and get on heavier medication again, or I can, you know, I've asked him and he's like, "I don't care if you try it. Go ahead and try it if you want to. Just don't do mine and those together." He goes, "Because that's a bad mix." He's like, "But if you want to try it and want to see if it works, go for it." He goes, "If it wasn't adult recreational already, I'd write you a script. But it's already, you can just walk in and get it." So, you know, but he also says, well, they prescribed it for everything from toenail fungus to male pattern baldness. So we don't know what it works for and what it doesn't. So, you know, but yeah, no, I've got people I know who use it regularly for pain, and they say that it works great.
Yeah. And now here's the thing. And a lot of New Jersey towns are now passing laws that certain occupations cannot, even though it is legal, cannot partake if they are employed by that town. And I'm talking mainly about like police, fire, EMS.
Yep.
They're being told that cannot partake right now.
Yeah,
And that's because the state did not make any kind of specific guidelines around it.
Yeah, we've got the same situations here where we've got certain employers who are still drug testing, obviously, because they need to, because they're heavy equipment operators or whatever. And so those people are still, not doing it because they don't want to get, busted in a random drug screen test. But, they're just like, why? It's legal for an adult to do. If I was drinking hard liquor, you couldn't test me the next day and fire me for it. It's just this stays in your system longer, even though the effects don't last, longer. It's detectable longer. So, it just hasn't kept up one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm and that's kind of where I'm at too. Like I'm if I did it, I would probably wait until like a Friday night, so I have the entire weekend to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I'm going to react. If you've never done it before, I have no idea. Yeah. Or if I really want to get crazy, I would just go ahead and bring it up to my father-in-law's when we go up there. But I don't know if I want to be in the middle of the woods. So, I don't know. He's got his medical card up there, so he's experienced. So I don't know. Is it curious? It's the same thing with like alcohol.
Yeah, it's the same thing as when you're when you're in college. You're not old enough to drink. You haven't drank before, and then it's available, or whatever.
So here's the other question: is it's legal for recreational in Illinois? You said.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So how many dispensaries are there that you can go buy it?
There's
not as many as there could be.
There's at least 2 in town.
Yeah.
I think 3. Okay. I know of 3 actually. One's like half a mile from my house. The other one's on the west end in an old theater, and there's another one on the north end of town.
Okay, so Illinois has a lot. Is what it sounds like.
Basically,
you're talking about just in your town.
Yeah, basically anywhere that was authorized to do medical was kind of grandfathered in and able to do adult use.
Yeah, there's been some grumbling that's been too restrictive, and that the state would be making a lot more money if they gave out more licenses. But
okay,
there seems to be enough for me, but I've never been to one.
Would you care to guess how many? For recreational, how many dispensaries there are authorized in the state of New Jersey?
I would bet probably 1 per county.
Or 2 total?
No, 13.
13.
Across the entire state. And if you look at the map of New Jersey, it kind of starts here and goes all around the edge. Nothing in Central Jersey, because the 13 dispensaries that were approved, I hate to say it, are in lower income municipalities.
Well, that's where they're actually, almost recommended to build or to provision them. It's the whole thing is weird. I'll just say it that way. The whole thing is weird.
The way New Jersey did it, they also, in order to be approved, the dispensaries had to have a dedicated service line or area for medical card holders, and they had to ensure that a certain percentage of their inventory was held back to make sure that the medical community was not at a disadvantage because of the recreational sales, which I totally understand.
Yeah, it makes sense.
My issue was why only 13 dispensaries when we have many, many more in the state. That, to me, seems foolish. That 1.9 could have easily been 5 million if all of the dispensaries were allowed to open up. And of course, I don't remember if we talked about it on the last show or not, but New Jersey legalized it on 4/21. They said that was by design because they were afraid that if it was on 4/20, the dispensaries would have been overrun.
Yeah.
I say, no, our politicians are not that smart to make that connection. They screwed up, and they are making excuses now because they're politicians.
Yeah. Well, either way, it wouldn't surprise me. You know.
I have one more question for both of you, and it's mainly because I'm curious. Does anybody know who the new Doctor Who is going to be yet? Has that been announced? No.
I don't think it's been announced yet.
Okay.
No, but my wife did say that if Tom Ellis was chosen, she would watch Doctor Who.
Who's Tom Ellis?
He's the guy who played Lucifer.
Oh, here we go again. Lucifer. Might as well pick Richard Hammond.
He is British, you know, so at least it makes sense.
Don't care if he's British. I said, look, you know what? If Idris Elba can't be the next James Bond, he should be Doctor Who.
Well, Idris Elba should be the next James Bond. So, you know, I don't know why not.
The only problem with Idris Elba is age. I mean, if they really want him to be Bond for quite a while, then, you know, he's already...
Okay. Problem with Bond, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can't bring age...
That's a problem.
I was going to say, you can't bring age into Doctor Who when you got Capaldi and such that were Doctor Who.
Maybe you could make him M or somebody. I don't know. But alrighty. Let's see
Get
here.
that music playing.
Yes. So, thank you all for listening to the show. Unfortunately, we are not going to be back in 2 weeks. We've got some conflicts with the schedule, so we will publish out on our Facebook and Twitter pages when we're going to be back next. We think it will be probably about 2.5 weeks or so, but we'll let everybody know for sure on Facebook and Twitter so that you guys can tune in. Don't forget to check out our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch pages. Subscribe, ring the bells to get notifications, and go to ptrradio.com. Subscribe for the RSS feed, the podcast feed, so that you never miss an episode. You know, got all kinds of things that are going to be coming up on the show. What they are, don't know, because I'm sure they'll pop up eventually. I mean, it's life, right? Things happen. That's just what goes around. So, you know, if you have ideas for things you want us to talk about on the show, make sure to send them our way. Just throw them up on one of our social media platforms. Just look for @PTR Radio anywhere where you are, and we're most likely there. Give us a review on iTunes or, you know, wherever you download the show. Always nice to hear what you guys think about it. And don't forget to tell your friends all about the show. That's the only way that we grow and that we reach a new audience is by you sharing the show, telling people about it, and that we are funny, attractive, sexy, and that you can barely keep your hands off of us through your screen. I mean, that's what we live for and strive for. So, you know, if you could just say that 3 times in the mirror, that would really be a good thing for us. A little positive reinforcement never hurts. You know, but really, I think that's it for us tonight. So I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Ape Man.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.